international official has said that President Biden is going to tell President Putin that there will be very real, genuine, meaningful, and enduring costs if Russia decides to invade Ukraine. I wonder if you could say anything further about what makes you at all confident that this would have any impact when previous rounds of sanctions have not. And secondly, there was a question about Russia's demands for a legal agreement regarding the limiting of the NATO expansion, to which Mr. Blinken and White House officials have said that the U.S. consistently supports the principle that every country has the sovereign right to make up its mind about this. But seldom is mentioned the fact that the U.S. actually promised the Russians in 1990 that they would not expand to the east. James Baker, not 1 inch eastward. So how do you reconcile that with your response to the concerns of the Russians?
So let me start with your first question. We have been very clear, and Secretary Blinken was very clear in public during several press avails he had last week in Latvia and Sweden as well. We have been crystal clear in private at the NATO summit, at the OSCE ministerial in Stockholm, about the concerns we have with Russia's ongoing aggression in Ukraine that has taken on different forms, including, of course, this military activity alongside Ukraine's borders, the misinformation, the disinformation, the propaganda, much of which has profoundly disturbing echoes of 2014. We've also been clear, and we've heard from our allies, our NATO allies including, that we believe there is an opportunity, a window before us to resolve this diplomatically, chiefly through full implementation of the Minsk agreements. That is our priority. That is where we wish to invest our efforts. At the same time, we've been clear that if Moscow shows no interest in investing in a diplomatic off-ramp, that the United States and our partners, and we heard this loud and clear from our NATO allies in Riga last week, that we would be prepared to implement measures that we have not implemented in the past. Specifically, should Russia follow this path of confrontation and military action, we have made clear to Moscow that we will respond resolutely, including with a range of what we have called high-impact economic measures that we've refrained from using in the past. And it's that last clause that I think gets to your question. These are measures that we have very intentionally bypassed in the past, given the impact they would have on Russia. And but of course, if Russia chooses to fail to de-escalate, if Russia chooses to move forward with any plans it may have developed to continue its military aggression or to aggress militarily upon Ukraine, to violate Ukraine's sovereignty, its independence, its territorial integrity, we and our allies would be prepared to act. We would be prepared to act resolutely. That is one of the key messages that Secretary Blinken delivered to Foreign Minister Lavrov when they saw each other in Stockholm late last week. It is one of the key messages that President Biden is preparing to deliver to Vladimir Putin tomorrow when they see each other via video link. So there should be no ambiguity about our willingness to do this, and we have made that very clear in public and in private at every turn. Remind me of your first question.
Oh, this promise by James Baker that there would not be not 1 inch eastward of movement of NATO towards Russia in the 1990s, and how you can respond to that now when the administration says that they don't take into account Putin's request for a legal agreement regarding limiting the expanding of NATO.
Well, look, we have been clear, as have past administrations of both parties, that NATO has an open door, and we are committed to the open door policy that was put forward in Bucharest, that NATO should remain an option to aspirants when they are ready and able to meet the commitments that are spelled out, as well as the obligations of membership that are spelled out. Meaning, specifically, that they are able and willing to contribute to security in the Euro-Atlantic area. We've reaffirmed this on a number of occasions. The United States has during this administration and in previous administrations. In the 2021 NATO summit communique, we made clear that we support Ukraine's right to decide its own future. No one else should have a veto over what NATO decides to do, what a country like Ukraine seeks to do, that Ukraine specifically has the right to decide its own foreign policy course free from outside interference. This is a very core tenet of the rules-based international order that the United States has protected and defended and promoted around the world. It's not unique to the border demarcations between Russia and Ukraine. We've talked about this in other contexts as well, including most notably perhaps in the Indo-Pacific context. It's a
that